Hello and welcome. Today we're going to talk about mental hygiene, which to me is just as important and just as life-changing as brushing my teeth every day. So if you want to learn more about that, stay tuned. Before I get into mental hygiene, let's go into just what is hygiene. So let's ask Alexa, what is hygiene?
Hygiene is usually defined as a condition promoting sanitary practices or, alternatively, the science concerned with the prevention of illness and maintenance of health.
So it's all about preventing illnesses and maintaining your health. So when we apply that to mental hygiene, it's all about staying mentally centered and finding ways that when we get unbalanced, when we get off of our center, we can get back on. So to apply that to my theories, hurricane theory and bubble theory both play into this. It's all about staying in the eye of the hurricane and being able to start my day, getting my bubble clear, getting in the eye of the hurricane, being centered, being stable. And then as I go throughout the day and things happen outside of me, do I maintain that centeredness? Do I maintain the clarity in my bubble so that I can stay in the eye of the hurricane more easily? And mental hygiene is the act of cleaning my bubble, the act of staying in the center of the hurricane and maintaining those things by doing different exercises that I find help me. So when we really look at hygiene, if we compare the mental hygiene with the dental hygiene, the equivalent of how I lived my life for most of my life is the hygienic equivalent of if I didn't brush my teeth every day, didn't floss every day, didn't go to the dentist ever until I start having pain affect me, until the toothache gets so bad that it disrupts my life, or until the toothache gets so bad it almost kills me. And then I go to the doctor. Because I basically had this trauma and all this emotional turmoil within me, and I didn't really seek out help and really even admit the real root of the problem until I was in my 20s. My family did not know that I was raped until my rapist started contacting me on Facebook, and I was terrified of it, and I was in my mid-20s. So then I would go to workshops when I would have like a nervous breakdown. I would go to a psych ward when I stabbed myself or tried to kill myself. I would get locked up in a psych ward or go to rehab for the drug addiction problem that I got. So I was letting my bubble get so dirty to the point that I could not see clearly at all, and I had to be put in 2 different insane asylums as well as rehab. And I really see how I've changed my life by simply just spending the time to do the things that I know make me feel better. And it's one thing, you know, like some people didn't brush their teeth and they didn't die, they didn't have that big of a problem with it, but still, if they had brushed their teeth every day, their health would overall be better. And I hope that that parallel helps you see it more clearly as it helps me see it, because I want to just brush my teeth every day. I want to just spend the time to clear my mind, spend the time to, just go outside or just play with the cat or listen to music and clear my head or meditate or do yoga or do a multitude of things or read a book. There's so many things that help me, like make a video, that really help me to put a new perspective on things. Like even thinking about mental hygiene, I'm thinking about it more deeply because I was thinking about making this video. I didn't write any notes on it until I was thinking about this video, and I've got 2 full pages of notes. So, mental hygiene. It definitely helps me to make these videos. I don't know if it would help you to create something out of your turmoil or your issues, and knowing that I have something positive to contribute makes me feel so good about myself. And now that I think about these things, another really cool thing is that when somebody says something rude to me, or is intentionally mean, or is having a bad day and taking it out on me, if I'm centered in that moment when it happens, sometimes I won't feel anything at all, and I'll just see that their bubble's dirty and be like, okay, he's having a bad day, I should just leave it and say something nice. Or sometimes I'll get a little triggered for a moment, and it will sting and it will hurt a little bit, but then I'll take a step back and be like, you know what? He's having a bad day, I should just chill. And then other times I get really hurt when somebody says something really rude, and it touches a wound that's already within me, and I react in a bad way, whether I yell or shut down and don't talk to them or write about it or whatever, but I feel something bad and I need to get it, process it and get it out of me, or talk to my therapist about it. So there's so many ways that we can react to life, and when we really think about these things, it just helps me evolve as a person and understand myself better and understand other people better, and it really makes me have more compassion for myself as well, and compassion for other people, because I see the pain that I went through, and I see the pain other people go through, and I really hope that these videos make you feel like you're not alone if you're one of these people, or if you're trying to learn about people with issues. I hope to give you as much information as I can to help you support people in your life. Or if you're an abuser, I'd really like you to see that by going through life abusing people, you're actually hurting yourself and you're isolating yourself, because now we're in a time where people just don't tolerate that anymore. People like that just die alone now. Well, unless they're really rich. I see that there are so many ways that I can clean my bubble on a daily basis, and it really helps me to stay centered. It really helps me to stay clear and emotionally balanced. And when I say mentally balanced, I mean on a level that I hope you never have to be. For me, on a daily basis, I have to be so mentally centered that when I feel like my legs are being crushed, or when I feel like I'm being burned alive from my bones, or when I feel like I'm being electrocuted, or have the worst migraines of my life where I can literally feel my brain being torn apart, I am able to stay so centered that I can be very aware that yes, right now, I feel like my rib is stabbing me because I have to have it put back in place because it slipped out of the cartilage. And my back really hurts today, which is why I'm filming in this chair, which I didn't do last time. And my face is really hurting because of the pustules that developed this week in my scar tissue from when I was beaten up. I got gluten allergies, which gives me these weird pustules, which is just normal food allergy stuff. And some of those pustules formed inside of the scar tissue that's still in my face. And to drain them, you have to get a sterilized needle and pop them, because they're like pressure underneath the skin and it really hurts. And having to drain this part of my face was so painful. And now it's barely anything. I actually don't have makeup on it, and I will totally admit this lighting makes me look good, but yeah, I don't actually look like this without the ring lights and the lights in the room and all of that stuff. it's a different story. Now it's just essentially a cut. I don't even have makeup on the cut because I don't put makeup on cuts. But when I say mentally centered, I mean that I want to be so centered to the level that I can feel all of these things, which everything that I just described is everything I'm dealing with today and this week. And the heat really got me, and then the temperature changed like 20 degrees in a day. It was like 90, and then it was like 50, and like my body's so not happy about it, and I just feel so fatigued and so ill. Like, I wanted to film yesterday, but I decided to take care of myself, which, speaking of mental hygiene, actually, this is a really good way of explaining it. So this week, I still wanted to film this video, but I allowed myself an extra day of rest instead of filming on the day that I wanted to. And I instead really took care of my skin and put these masks and different things on it that I put on it, and that's why it also does look so much better. So I really took the time to sit back and say, what do I need for my health to make me actually feel better? And this is also a thing where I'm so centered that addictive thoughts don't come up. I don't think about doing meth when I'm stressed because that doesn't actually do anything to help me. So it's not even a thought in my mind first thing coming up, which is why I have to make notes about it because I forget that I used to even think those things. So inevitably, life will disrupt us. Life will sweep us up. I focus on getting the skills that will get me to the center faster, and then skills that help maintain me staying there so that I'm less likely to get swept up in something, and when I do, I don't even really get swept up. It's more like I have a tether at the center of myself. To feel this way is something I want to share with other people. I really want other people to feel as centered as I do, and to see that there is a way to evolve as a person, to control your emotions, to understand the raw emotions and be able to fully feel them the moment that you feel them, but then understand that we can feel them and then step back. And then the logical mind can come in and process what the raw emotion is. And it's like, oh, I feel so enraged by this, but why do I feel enraged? Oh, because of this and this and this. So it's quicker to just admit to the rage than to just pretend that I'm not enraged because I'm upset that I'm upset by something. We're all going to be upset by something. We're all going to be bothered by things. The sooner we acknowledge what it is, we can start to do something about it. And I had to acknowledge it bothered me that I was so emotionally unstable that when I felt the pain, I would hurt my family members and lash out in anger. And I'm proud that I'm a person that life can knock me down, and I will keep rising up and keep moving forward and keep learning and keep growing and going deeper within myself, finding more about myself that I can share with others. There is so much more to life than I ever thought possible growing up. There is so much infinite happiness and joy and beauty. And when I allow myself to really see and feel the dark things, I also can feel wonderful light things that I never felt before. The more darkness I acknowledge, the more beauty I see, because the more I can appreciate the beauty for what it truly is. When I stay emotionally centered, I am so much better at getting what I want out of life and finding my direction and knowing what's right for me and realizing that I can take all of the data that I can take in and I can figure out what is right for me. And I think it's really cool that I live in a time where I can share that journey with other people and try to actually build a business out of that, where every day I can be surrounded by this type of thought process. So if you want to join the family of people that I am trying to gather that's focused on coping with life and sharing about it, because we can all learn so much from each other about those little things, and I just love talking about what helps you cope with life. So what helps you cope? In the comments down below, please let me know. What do you do when you're stressed? Do you feel like you can stay emotionally centered no matter what? Do you have trouble with it? Are you good at it? Tell me your thoughts on this whole mental hygiene thing. I want to know. I hope you have a beautiful day. Bye!